White guilt.
Let's talk about it. But I do think you're right. Like, I mean, I just know in my interactions with just anybody that, like, you can hear information if you're being civil and having a conversation, but the second someone is, like, condescending to you or yelling at you, like, you shut off.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't have real conversations. I mean, sometimes you have to stand up and protect someone or shut someone down. And again, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not going to probably get shot like you are. So we have a different reaction to that kind of thing. But if we actually want to make a difference or have people listen to us, we can't be getting up in someone's face and yelling at them.
Right. And then at some point, like, you might have to. But if you do, again, there's no lesson coming anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's all about defense.
I live in really specific circles.
Right.
You know, Joey is homeschooled.
Yep.
He is not in a school. Because that way we can, and he's got, you know, mental health issues, but we really determine the circles that he lives in. So there's homeschool of color. A lot of black families are around him. We sort of are very specific about the people that he's around, but we will travel a lot. You know, because we want him to see America and we want him to see the world. We have been lucky that we have not had a lot of bad experiences yet, and we have not, because of some of his issues, we haven't prepared him for some of it. Because of that, you know, like we're trying to gauge like how much information to give when, because of all the anxiety that he has from his other issues, right? So right now we're really surrounding him with really good role models, a lot of black people, like amazing black families, but we have not yet, and I understand this, prepared him for the real world.
Right.
But
we're just walk trying about 37 steps outside of the triangle, very different place.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we don't walk out there yet, because right now we're just working on, again, that's like if you have mental health issues, like we have to circle around and fix, not fix, you can't fix those, but I don't know, it freaking freaks me out because there's so much we're working on with him that stuff has to be fixed before we walk out into the other crazy part of the world. Those two don't mix.
But that part's first. I think you're doing the right thing, right?
Yeah.
We can only work on so much at any given time, right? And I think that your interactions with your kid trump all that other stuff, right? So the fact that you're even taking time to consider those other things is big. You know, not to blow smoke up your or whatever. I mean, I don't know what you're into. But I think that's like
I've never tried that.
I mean, so it's, you know, try things. That's what I'm saying. Date all the time. But I think that's important. But yes, you're right. There's a different world out there. But then even black families, right? So there's this place where you try to figure we all want what's best for our kids, best for our family. And so you don't want to, and I think this only happens, I don't know if white families do it. All white people in the room, correct me. Maybe.
Okay.
But I feel like a lot of black families that I know really value our pasts, even when those pasts were and always remembering that. And I agree, I think that's important. But what I see with most of my white friends is that even if grandpa grew up in total poverty, generally speaking, no one's like, hey kids, we need to make sure we go back to North Dakota and like see where grandpa grew up and spend time in this shitty poor community and, you know, and like keep living in that and constant reminders of how terrible it was. And I feel like a lot of white families that I know try to move forward. And so I think there's this place that maybe I just don't know, I couldn't tell you which one is better.
Yeah.
I know that my tendency is to want to not necessarily wallow in, you know, I grew up poor. Great. Now I'm not poor. I don't want to keep going back to my old neighborhood and trying to find people there that I knew. And, you know, when I spent time in Pomona, California, I don't want we used to joke like, oh, you want to find our house? Just drive down the street and turn left at the gunshots. I don't want to go back there, even though now Pomona is gentrified, so now you can just go back there. But, you know, I feel like there's not this desire to live in that, and so I guess I'm saying I don't know if you need to prepare Joey for that world. That world is not.
Well, but you got to prepare him for the fact that he is black, and that he's going to be looked at differently. You know, like that the talk that like I didn't even know a talk existed until that's the crazy thing is like until we had Joey, right?
Yeah.
You know, the thing for me is I'm a white woman. I still don't be pulled over at night by a male cop because holy shit, dude, that's a whole
thing.
Right?
Absolutely.
So there's other things that I'm aware of, but I was not aware of like the talk. And like a good friend of mine, he would put like stuffed animals in a car seat, even though he had no children, in his car.
Yeah.
So the cop would be like, "Oh, he's a family person."
Right.
Right. You know, because I'd be like, "Why do you have stuffed
safer.
animals in your car?"
Oh, that's why I don't get killed on the way from the grocery store.
Yeah.
Yeah. This old white lady was on the news, and but she had her phone out, and she wasn't even on the news; it was the recording on the news, and you hear her say, she turns her phone on and starts the recording, and she's like, "Yeah, there's too many cops over there with that guy," and then you see her walk over to the police and say, "Hey, why are so many of you talking to this one black kid?"